Welcome to Let's Have a Money Talk with Mr. Finance.
Welcome. How you guys doing today? This is Keon Corniff, also known as Mr. Finance, here to bring you back another great and exciting money talk, right? Let's have a money talk. And today we're going to talk about understanding the power of interest. You know, a lot of us don't understand the power of interest, and that's one of the most important things that we must know and understand how that works when it comes down to winning the money game. See, one of the things I always tell you guys about is our mission, what we're trying to educate 1 million families before the year 2020. So that's one of the reasons why we're having this Let's Money Talk series and episodes, so that way we can teach you that. So you always know the book of choice I'm always teaching from is the Saving Your Future book. This Saving Your Future book is so powerful because it teaches you the basic principles of how to build a strong financial foundation, and it teaches you about the simple concepts that you have to use to win the money game. So today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about, do you pay yourself, right? And here's the question, do you pay yourself first? That's even better. The next thing we're going to talk about, what is the Rule of 72? What is this Rule of 72 is all about? Who invented this? Then we're going to talk about inflation and why can it keep you broke. If you don't understand inflation and what is so important about it, it could actually hurt you. So today, I'm going to talk about how we can understand these things in a simple way, and also using the Blue Book, and where in the Blue Book you can find this information. For those that don't have the Blue Book, please remember you can always call me, or you can always give me a text, or whoever share this video with you, reach out to them and then make sure that you get a Blue Book. And if they can't give it to you, once again, reach out to me and I'll make sure that I'll send you one of these Blue Books, so that way you could read and hear all about it. All right, so let's get started. So, do you pay yourself first? That's where I'm gonna start first, right? We're gonna talk about that because this is a very important topic that most of us never really talk about. So on the page 8 in the Blue Book, it says right here, it says pay yourself first, right? This is the first thing you got to do. Every day we get paid. Some people get paid on Thursdays, some people get paid on Fridays. For folks that work in our company, we get paid Tuesdays and Fridays, right? So one of the things that we want to talk about is this: do you pay yourself first? It says you need to set aside 5 to 10% of your income for your future, right? You got to save this for your future. It says, if possible, save 15% or more. You got to treat it like a bill that you must pay, and pay it first. So that's your family's financial bill. And doesn't it make sense to pay your family's first before paying other people's bills? It says your cable TV is not more important than your family's financial well-being. So now, when you think about paying yourself first, there's two things you got to remember, right? They said the minimum you need to pay yourself is 5%, right? 5 to 10%. They said if you could do better, you should save 15% or more. So pretty much what they're saying is this: once you get that paycheck, right? Once you get the paycheck, you make sure you take out, if you can take out 5% or 10%, right, off the gross take-home money that you have, and that's for your saving for your future. And then you pay whatever bills. You know, Warren Buffett said it best. Warren Buffett said that you're supposed to save first and spend whatever is left over. So that's how you could prepare yourself to win the money game, if you learn to pay yourself first. Now, what else it says here? It says that small changes will equal big money, right? So spending less, right? Spending is a habit, and so is saving. What if you could make small changes to your spending habits and start saving $10 a day? So pretty much let's say if you're saving $10 a day, right? That is $300 that you be saving a month, right? It says here, if you're saving this $300 a month, right? You're saving $300 a month, and you only got 8% interest on your $300 a month, and you did this for 30 years, Did you know you have $447,000+? Right? What if you could did more? What if you were able to save $20 a day? What would that look like for you in 30 years? Same thing. 300 a month, right? You got 8% interest for 30 years. Okay? If you look at this, saving $20, sorry, that's the 300. What if you save $20? Which would be 600. $600 a month, 8%, 30 years. You have $894,000+. So the question to you is, do you want to save $10 a day or you want to save $20 a day? The choice is yours. Which one you would like to have in retirement? Would you want to have 447,000+ or 894,000+? See, all of us have this money and we can enjoy a very nice retirement. But it's just that we spend this money every day. Every day we spend $10 a day. Most of us, even more. But if I just showed you how to do that. So here's what it says. It said, these are a sizable amount for your retirement. Can you cut down on some of your personal luxuries now that you reap greater benefits in the future? Right? So can you cut back on some of your spending habits, some of the luxurious lifestyle that you live in, so that way you can have a luxurious lifestyle when you retire as well? It says, things like soda, lattes, bottled waters, cigarettes, cable TV, high-end gadgets, new phones, shopping, fancy cars, eating out, partying, all of these things take away from the opportunity that you could have to have a future savings. So what we have to do is start getting the habit of where we start being, what's the word? We got to be very aggressive savers, right? We got to be very aggressive savers, because it says, it's not what you earn that counts, but it's what you keep. This is a common characteristic among wealthy people, and is that they're very conscientious about their spending habit. So I've learned that in order for us to have this kind of lifestyle in our retirement days, we got to be very conscientious about our spending habit, right? Because what I'm going to tell yourself is this. You got to start giving your money time. Because you know time is probably one of the most valuable asset or commodity that we could ever acquire. And the thing is that we can never go back in time. Every day we move forward is a time that we already either wasted or that we took full advantage of it. So here's what it said about time. It says time is money. You ever hear people say this? Time is money? It's such a true statement. This is what it says. The sooner you save, the better your future. It said, let's take a look at the example on the next page, which I will talk about in a second. But it says procrastination is the enemy of savings. When many people are young, they think they have a lot of time to save. And then they get married, have kids, and buy a house. With a mortgage and new expenses, money becomes tight. They tell themselves they will start saving later. How many of you guys know your parents or yourself that you probably went through this cycle? And listen to what happened. As they enter their midlife, their children go to college and tuition takes a big bite of their budget. Soon they will join the majority of people approaching retirement with little to no savings. They know they must save, but now they say it's too late. Many wonder, what if they had just put aside $100 to $200 a month when they were young? They could have accumulated a significant asset today. Don't wait. Start save as much as you can, as soon as you can. This is the importance of saving that we're stressing, because we want you to start saving. You see, I told you, we are on a different crusade, a different mission. You see, many people are out there telling you to buy things, spend your money, putting it there. We're telling you to save it and put it where it could double and grow better interest. That's why we're going to talk about the power of interest. Also, it says, get rich slowly, right? Get rich slowly. You know, there's a difference between hitting big and hitting low. But what if you were hitting small accurately and steadily? You ever hear this say, steady Eddie win the race? Right? Be steady. So it says here, a solid foundation takes time to build. Trees don't grow overnight. It says to avoid get rich impulses, also aka stay away from those get rich quick schemes. Okay? Most of these people come to you and talk about get rich. If you do this, you can make 100,000 in 6 months. Sometimes I always got to ask these people, did you make 100,000? Right? So stay away from get rich quick schemes. These things can actually take away your money and your ability. It says, hot stocks and rising real estate market can sound appealing. It says, but one wrong pick can set you back a big time from your saving goals. It says, investing is not gambling. You must understand how money works and have a plan and stay disciplined with your action plan until you reach your goal. That's why I tell you guys, you got to be steady Eddie. All right? Be steady Eddie. Don't look for these get rich quick, these little things to make quick bucks. They never last. My mom always say, anything that you do and anything that you get too easily, it won't last long. All right? So you have to learn how to be this steady Eddie, right? The steady Eddie type of person when it comes to saving your money. Save. All right? So one of the things that he was talking about is when we talk about the rule of 72, right? The rate of return. Did you know my 4-year-old and my 6-year-old kids, my son, right? They both understand the rule of 72. Many of us never heard of this thing before and even know how it works. So today I'm going to tell you about the rule of 72, right? What's the rule of 72? Now, the rule of 72 was created by Albert Einstein. It's actually listed as the 8th wonder of the world. And what Albert Einstein said is this. Let me go over the rule of 72 for you. He said the rule of 72, it works like this. If you take 72, you divide it by whatever interest you're getting on your money, this will equal the years it takes to double your money for you or against you. So this rule of 72 is like a double-edged sword. All right? So I'm going to use a few examples for you. I'm going to use if you was able to get 4% interest on your money, right? And I'm also going to use the example of if you got 8%, and last, what if you got 12%, right? So these are very simple math that we're going to do. So let's take a look here. 4%. If you did 72 divided by 4, that equals 18. And that would be the amount of years it would take for your money to double if you had 18 years, right? So if you got 4% interest on your money, anywhere you're putting it, it would take you about 18 years for that money to double, right? And I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's just say that you started at age 29, right? At age 29. Age 29, you started out with $10,000, right? So then it would take another 18 years if you got 4%, right? So now you have age 47, and that $10,000 will become $20,000. Then you got to wait another 18 years if you only got 4%, and another 18 years from then is 65 years old, where that will become now $40,000. My question to you is at age 65, and you only have $40,000 because you only earned 4% interest on your money. What does that do for you in retirement? That's one of the reasons why many of us suffered throughout retirement. Because we didn't understand that we got to have the right type of interest on our investments. And then we got to make sure the next episode I'm going to talk about is taxes, right? But let's look at this one. What if you got 8%? 8%, 72 divided by 8 equals 9. So that means your money will double for you every 9 years. Same thing. Age 29 started out with $10,000. Now every 9 years this money will double. So let's look. 9 years from 29, we're now at 38 years old. It will become $20,000, right? Another 9 years from 38 would be 47. 47 becomes $40,000. And then we come down another 9 years at 56, which will become $80,000, right? And then at 65, it would then become $160,000. Now that's not too bad, right? $160,000, but how far can that take you? What can that do for you, right? So just so we do a recap, 4% interest, long term, it will give you about $40,000. What if you got 8%? Money doubling much faster every 9 years. But what if you're in a position to get 12%? Right? And some people always ask me, Keon, where do I get 12% earning potential? I have many vehicles that does that. You just gotta learn, right? But let me show you here. Age 29. Same thing, start out with 10,000. Now, if you do 72 divided by 12, money's doubling every 6 years, right? Money's doubling much faster now, which is really good. And if you take a look, let's see, 6 years from 29, that is 35 years. That grows to 20,000. Another 6 years from 35 is 41, which will bring it to 40,000. Another 6 years from 41 is 47. That brings it to 80,000. And from another 6 years from 47 to 53 will then make it 160,000. And then we got to take a look at another 6 years from 53. We'll then bring it to 59, which will carry that to 320,000. And then at the age of 65, for 6 years from 59, we'll then take it to $640,000. Now, which one would you prefer? Based on understanding the power of interest, would you then want 4%, 8%, or 12% earning potential? I think you're leaning towards the 12%, right? Because that's where I'm looking at. I want to learn how I could grow my money to 640,000 or even better. So that way I could get these better benefits of interest to save, right? So this is what's so important about this. Because it says here, the difference between $10,000 at 4% versus 12% is actually 600,000, and which is 600,000 is equal to a 20-year salary of someone that earns $30,000 annually. So if you remember in the last episode, we talked about 10-20 rules and so on, right? And how important that is for you to understand why it's important to get 20 times your income in place, and even then learn about different ways to get tax advantages, right? So we got to remember this. It says, the rule of 72 unveiled the powerful impact of compound interest on money. It also reveals two types of people, right? It says here, people who don't understand how money works, they end up working for money. And it says people who understand how money works, let money work for them. Wealthy people tend to spend time learning and understanding how money works, and they look for advice and solutions to get better return for their money. So that's why rich people don't put their money in the bank. Rich people always don't put their money in the bank. All right? Because they know the bank can't give them enough interest to grow their money at a very accelerated rate that they want. Right? It says right here, A lot of poor people lack knowledge about personal finance. Some don't care to understand. Many have plan, right? Many have no plan and little savings. What savings they have are usually put in an account with a low rate of return. Their money doesn't work for them. Compound interest works both ways. It can make you and it can actually break you. If you owe money, the compound interest on your debt can ruin you. As a result, many people keep paying the bills with high interest. Despite numerous payments and balance of bills barely goes down because high interest on the balance continuing to compound. Sometimes it feels like if it is impossible to pay off the balance, right? It becomes impossible to pay off the balance. And you know many people that falls into this as a victim? People that actually get these car loans where they always say, bad credit, no credit, you will get approved. Well, you will get approved with a very high interest upon the loan that you take in to buy this car. So it's very important for you to always remember the rule of 72 when it comes to anything that deals with interest on money for you or against you. All right? So that's very, very important for us to always remember. So the next thing we're going to talk about is inflation. This is one of my favorite topics, and it's going to be yours too. I think it's probably one of the most undermined thing that nobody seems to talk about in our government. Nobody's talking about it in public, and nobody's talking about it, period. As a matter of fact, I don't think everybody even understands what is inflation. Now, inflation is probably one of the most best kept hidden way to tax you in a sense, right? Without even raising the taxes. Let me give you an insight on what it is. It says the inflation. Inflation is the silent killer. It says inflation is the rise in prices and goods and services over time. When prices increase, your purchasing power decreases. For example, if the inflation rate, right? I'll give you an example here. It says if the inflation rate is at 3.5%, right? If the inflation rate is at 3.5%, your $100, right? So here's your $100. Your $100 today will only be worth $96.50. You're probably wondering why. So if 3.5% inflation on that $100 only bring it back down to a buying power of $96.50. You're wondering why, right? It's called the cost of living. So whatever used to cost $100 in the past, it with inflation rate going up, you would then only have a buying power of $96.50. Now listen to this, it even gets better. Well, technically it gets worse, right? So it says, inflation happens when a country prints more money than it actually earns. The result is that everybody will lose some value of their money. Some refer to inflation as the hidden tax. Wow. It goes on to say, listen to this. Inflation is a major factor to consider when you build your financial future. For instance, if you put money in an account with zero rate of return, its values will certainly decline in the long run. It says in the last 100 years, from 1914 to 2014, it says that the average, right, the U.S. inflation rate average at, this is where it is, it's been 3.32%. Okay? So you got to take a look at some of the major things that's been happening, right? It says here, if the average interest rate is at 3.32% since 1914 to 2014, all you have to do to know how much buying power you have, minus this from your $100, and it tells you how much buying power you have. And this doesn't include taxes. This doesn't even include taxes yet. So you have to really start thinking about the fact that how are you going to win the money game if you don't learn how to get the better type of interest on your money to keep up with inflation and taxes. Now you see why this is so important? It is very important for you to learn this. Because listen what it says here. Think about this. In the 1970s, a new home will only cost you $23,450. In the 90s, it went up to $123,000. In 2013, that same house you would have bought in the 70s is now $289,500. How about a new car? In the 70s, to buy a new car, it was $3,400. In the 90s, it went up to $16,950. And now in 2013, it went up to $31,352. Now let's look at wages, what the jobs pay you. It says here, in the 70s, wages was at $9,400. In the 90s, it went up to $29,960. And then in 2014, the average wages is at $44,321. Why is it that the rate that new homes, cars, bread, milk, the way those prices went up tremendously? How come our wages doesn't go up with inflation? See, everything is inflating except our wages. It's not that you're not working enough, and it's not that you're not making enough. It's the fact that the amount that you're getting paid is not keeping up with inflation. And if you do keep anything and you make good money, then you're not saving it in the right places where you can get the right type of interest on your money to then keep up with inflation. So you're living paycheck to paycheck because you don't understand none of this. And that's why it's important for you to get your hands on this book. That's why it's important for you to be a part of our workshops, our free workshops. That's why I'm here to tell you this. Because listen to this. It says here, say you plan to retire with $4,000 income, right? You plan to retire at age 65 or whatever age that you plan to retire. But let's just say you retire at age 65, and at 65, you want to have coming in $4,000, right? It says, if you wanted that type of income to come in per month, today's value, it says 20 years later at a 3%. So if you wanted this kind of lifestyle at 65 in retirement, and they said the inflation rate, if it was just 3%, they said you would need to have at least $7,224 just to keep up with inflation if it was just at 3%. So here's my question to you. Can you predict what inflation will be? And better yet, can you predict what taxes will be when it comes time for you to retire? See, those are the two things you can never predict or assume what they will be. But here's what you can do. You can find a place where to put your money where you can earn interest that is high enough to keep up with inflation and taxes. That's why we want to teach you how to win the money game. So I'm going to leave you with this. It says, are you prepared for it? Do you think you should save more or spend less? That's something you should answer to yourself. And if you want to learn how to save more and put your money in the right places, contact me. And for those that are new to my videos, you can always reach me at 973-873-5977. Once again, my number is 973-873-5977. Give me a call and let's talk about how to win. Make sure you and your family can win the money game. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope you got some good information. And once again, my name is Keon Corniff, also known as Mr. Finance. And always remember, you are one decision away from changing your future for the better. Let's talk about how we can save your future and give you the power to win the money game. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Always tune in for the next episode. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.